Joe Chow becomes Hong Kong's police commissioner. A murder suspect brought back to the crime scene in Pho Tan after being arrested in Thailand. And a liberal wins the Wisconsin Supreme Court election in a setback for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. Joe Chow has become the city's commissioner of police, replacing Raymond Su. Su will start his pre-retirement leave on the same day after serving the public in the police force for 36 years. Mimo Singhai reports.
Beijing today approved the appointment of Joe Chow as the new police commissioner. He was sworn in at the central government offices. Chow has served in the force for almost 30 years. Chief Executive John Lee expressed his confidence in Chow's ability to lead the force and meet the challenges ahead. Speaking to the media, the new police chief said it is an honor for him to get the appointment. He said national security remains one of the focus areas in his tenure.
I'm sure that everyone is aware about this legislation of the national security, but I think, in fact, the scope of national security is far more extensive. They think that, okay, the threat has gone. Some people are still trying to seek their ways and to see if there are any loopholes that they can use it to instigate some actions to threaten the national security.
Joe Chow joined the force in 1995 as a police inspector and spent years working in the fields of criminal investigation and intelligence gathering. Between 2012 and 2013, Chow was seconded to the International Criminal Police Organization in Lyon, France, where he worked as a criminal intelligence officer. 4 years later, Chow was promoted to the post of chief superintendent and took charge of the Criminal Intelligence Bureau. During the 2019 social unrest, the Polytechnic University was occupied by demonstrators. At that time, Chow was responsible for the frontline operation there. The force blocked all entrances and exits at the university for nearly 2 weeks. During that period, different parties went inside to talk to the protesters. The operation ended after more than 1,000 people registered their names with the police. Over 1,000 people were arrested before and after the entire operation. Chow received a yearly promotion afterwards. In 2020, he became Assistant Commissioner of Police. 1 year later, he assumed the post of Senior Assistant Commissioner and obtained the Hong Kong Police Medal for meritorious service within the same year. In 2022, he got another promotion and became Deputy Commissioner of Police, handling administrative work. In 2023, Chow took charge of all operational departments in the force. Chow also led a task force to host test runs for the Kai Tak Sports Park last year before the facility officially entered service. Mimo 9, TVB News.
Police have brought another suspect related to the Pho Tan murder case last month back to the city after he was arrested in Thailand. He was brought to several areas, including Sha Tin and Mong Kok, for a reenactment of the crime scene. The 25-year-old suspect was deported from Thailand after he was found in Pattaya. The man's face was covered with a hood and was placed in handcuffs as police officers brought him to the crime scene in Pho Tan at around 4 p.m. He was seen pointing at a mannequin with a prop knife while investigators questioned him. The suspect indicated he fled via private car after the crime before changing clothes and boarding another car in Sha Tin. Officers then brought the man to his hiding spot located in a building on Fa Yuen Street. Police said the suspect fled to Thailand on the night of the murder and was captured in the country on Monday. The case took place on the 16th of last month when a man with a triad background was attacked by 2 knife-wielding attackers in Pho Tan. Preliminary investigations indicated the assault involved a drug and financial dispute. China's military has completed its 2-day live fire drills in the East China Sea around Taiwan. Beijing said it was practicing precision strikes on port and energy facilities, but with no details of the exact location. A spokesperson for China's Eastern Theater Command said the exercises, codenamed Straight Thunder 2025A, were carried out in the middle and southern areas of the Taiwan Strait, focusing on testing troops' capabilities of area regulation and control, joint blockade and control, and precision strike on key targets. The exercises follow a rise in Chinese rhetoric against Taiwan's Lai Ching-te, who China called a parasite on Tuesday. Wisconsin voters have elected Susan Crawford to the state Supreme Court. This maintains the court's 4-3 liberal majority in a setback for U.S. President Donald Trump and his billionaire ally Elon Musk, who had backed her conservative rival. Elsewhere, 2 Florida Republicans won their special elections to fill House vacancies created by U.S. President Donald Trump's cabinet picks. Daniel Rowell tells us more.
Susan Crawford, a county judge, defeated conservative Brad Schimmel, a former Republican state attorney general and also a county judge.
As a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world for justice in Wisconsin. And we won. Wisconsinites fended off an unprecedented attack on our democracy. That's right. Our fair elections and our Supreme Court. And Wisconsins stood up and said loudly that justice does not have a price. Our courts are not for sale.
With the balance of the Supreme Court at stake, billionaire Elon Musk and political groups tied to Schimmel spent more than $21 million to support him. Musk had stressed the importance of the election as a vital matter of U.S. national interest. Wisconsin's top court is likely to issue critical rulings on voting rights and election rules ahead of the 2026 midterms and 2028 presidential race. The court is also poised to decide whether abortion rights should remain legal statewide and could revisit a Republican-backed law that stripped most public employee unions of collective bargaining rights. Elsewhere, 2 Florida Republicans won their special elections to fill U.S. House vacancies created by Trump's cabinet picks. The victories give the Republicans a House majority of 220 to 213. The Republicans had been expected to easily hold both seats, so the parties were watching to see how close the Democrats might come. In one district that includes Daytona Beach, Republican State Senator Randy Fine defeated Democrat Josh Weil, a public school educator. Fine was up around 14 points after Michael Waltz, now Trump's national security advisor, won the seat by 33 points in November. In the other race around Pensacola, Republican State Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patronis defeated Democrat Gay Valmont, a gun violence prevention activist. Patronis was up nearly 15 points after Valmont had lost the seat to Matt Gaetz, once Trump's nominee for Attorney General, by 32 points in November. Dan Rowell, TV News.
5 days after a massive earthquake in Myanmar, the death toll has soared to 2,886 in the country, with over 4,600 others injured. Aid groups have warned of a humanitarian crisis in the region and pressed for better access to help survivors. In neighboring Thailand, authorities are still investigating the collapse of a skyscraper under construction in Bangkok during the quake. Danny Cho has details.
In Saigon, residents were seen tidying up Buddhist statues recovered from the rubble. Thousands of monasteries and pagodas were reported to have collapsed completely or partially. Saigon particularly bore the brunt of the 7.7 magnitude earthquake, which ruptured roads and toppled buildings in a wide swath of land. In Myanmar's second-largest city, Mandalay, a plethora of evacuees clustered to bathe and cook near the Irrawaddy River. Rescue operations are ongoing. As of Tuesday morning, Chinese rescue teams brought to safety 8 survivors from the disaster zone in Mandalay. On the same day, 24 fully equipped rescuers from the Chinese mainland and Hong Kong joined hands in conducting a thorough search at the Sky Villa residence following reports of distress signals. And local firefighters successfully pulled an elderly woman from the debris of a building in the capital city of Naypyidaw. But hope is fading, as experts say the likelihood of finding more survivors drops dramatically after 72 hours. The United Nations said more than 28 million people in 6 regions were affected by the quake. A Red Cross official spoke of the severe challenges that they are facing.
People are sleeping in the street, people are trying to access medical care, but the buildings are damaged as well. So hospital and physical and primary healthcare center cannot be used for now. Access to safe drinking water is a priority. As electricity is down, the water pumping system is not working, so the treatment of the water is not happening.
In another development, the Myanmar junta said its troops fired warning shots at a Chinese Red Cross aid convoy on Tuesday night. They said the convoy had not informed authorities, saying they were in a conflict zone. The foreign ministry in Beijing has confirmed the safety of the aid team and supplies. A spokesman called on all parties in Myanmar to keep transportation routes for relief efforts open and unobstructed. In Thailand, a body was removed from the rubble of the 30-story state audit office building early Wednesday, raising the death toll in Bangkok to 22, with 34 injured. During an investigation, Thai Commerce Ministry identified the main contractor for the project, China Railway No. 10, had exhibited several irregularities in its business operations. Thai safety officials said some of the metal used at the site was found to be substandard, AFP reported. Chinese Premier Li Qiang and Foreign Minister Wang Yi have both extended sincere sympathy to their Thai counterparts over the casualties and property losses due to the quake. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
Still ahead, Germany's foreign minister on a visit to Ukraine. A clearance operation at a Wong Tyson squatter area. And an Oscar-winning composer, Tan Dun, in town for the Chinese Cultural Festival. Welcome back. A key Kremlin negotiator is expected in Washington this week for talks with U.S. President Donald Trump's administration. The talks are reportedly about strengthening relations between the two countries as they seek to end the war in Ukraine. This, as Germany's chief diplomat on Tuesday described Trump's efforts to secure a truce in the 3-year war between Russia and Ukraine as deadlocked. Tracy Furness has more.
Germany's outgoing Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in Kyiv Tuesday. She said support militarily for Ukraine will continue with a package of €7 billion, but above all in the energy sector and above all in the humanitarian sector. Baerbock also said Ukraine is willing to reach a ceasefire deal, but Russia is not. The fact that Putin continues to attack and bomb instead makes it clear that he does not want peace at the moment, she said. Baerbock joined her Ukrainian counterpart, Andrei Sybiha, paying a visit to the National Memorial to Fallen Soldiers in Kyiv, where she placed a candle in their memory. Germany's chief diplomat was also present with a special award for the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry in recognition of her support for Ukraine in recent years. Baerbock arrived in the Ukraine capital for an unannounced visit earlier on Tuesday. This is her 9th visit since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the 11th overall during her tenure. This as Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Moscow had sent a list of Ukrainian violations of their agreement to halt strikes on energy facilities to the US, UN representatives and other diplomatic organizations. He said energy facilities of the Russian Federation have been attacked all this time, perhaps with a break of 1 or 2 days. And Russian President Vladimir Putin held a Security Council meeting to discuss with his defense minister Andrei Removich Belousov how the country was implementing the agreements related to the cessation of mutual strikes on energy systems between Russia and Ukraine. Russia has effectively rejected a US proposal for a full and immediate 30-day halt in the fighting. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
In Iceland, a volcano erupted south of the capital Reykjavik, spewing lava and smoke in a fiery display of orange and red. It triggered the evacuation of tourists and residents, but air traffic remains normal. Referred to as a land of ice and fire for its many glaciers and volcanoes, the North Atlantic island nation has now seen 11 eruptions south of Reykjavik since 2021, when dormant geological systems reactivated after some 800 years. This outbreak saw flames and smoke shoot through the air as the volcanic fissure opened near the town of Grindavik, where some 40 homes were evacuated. This community in the Reykjanes Peninsula was largely evacuated a year ago when the volcano came to life after lying dormant for centuries. Molten rock spewed out toward the community as sirens sounded, while nearby Blue Lagoon Geothermal Spa was also evacuated. The total length of the eruptive fissure is about 1,200 meters, and it continues to extend southward. The Lands Department has launched a clearance operation at Chukyun United Village in Wong Tai Sin. However, some residents said relevant authorities did not notify them about it. Staff members from the Lands and Water Supplies departments arrived at Chukyun United Village this morning. All entrances and exits were guarded by security personnel. Some residents were prevented from returning to their homes. Others packed their belongings and left. In 2023, the Lands Department asked villagers to move out of the site by October last year. Not everyone has accepted a compensation offer. Chukyun United Village is one of the 3 urban squatter areas that the government aims to reclaim. The other 2 are Ngao Chi Wan Village and Cha Kwo Ling Village. Authorities plan to construct about 1,500 public housing units after redeveloping the site of Chukyun United Village. Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chan said new taxi fleets will actively recruit drivers. This came after the government offered conditional taxi fleet licenses to 5 taxi operators in July last year. 2 of the 5 fleets have commenced their trial operations. According to the Transport Department, the 5 fleet operators must start operating within 1 year of the date which they obtained the conditional grants of the taxi fleet license. After commencing service, the operators will receive a taxi fleet license valid for 5 years. Joy and SynCab are the 2 fleets that have hit the roads. The taxi industry earlier said it is difficult to recruit full-time drivers. However, as Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chan said, fleet operators will actively strive to recruit drivers. Oscar-winning composer and Hong Kong's ambassador for cultural promotion, Tan Dun, unveiled some of the musical programs planned for the city this year that aim to promote the rich musical heritage of China. The world-class musician noted he would like to arrange an inaugural team-themed music festival as a contribution to Chinese society. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Few things unite the world as much as music, and China has been a rising power in the classical music scene in recent years. In hopes of further promoting Chinese culture both at home and abroad, internationally renowned Chinese composer Tan Dun, the maestro behind the musical scores of films such as Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Zhang Yimou's Hero, shared some of his projects for the cause this year. Tan, who had toured around Europe and mainland China, said he wished to contribute to Chinese culture by starting a music festival related to a national drink beloved throughout the world.
I felt there's nobody don't drink tea, and there's no country never buy or sell tea. So why not create a new platform people can share the soul with the tea? You see, here the tea music festival is the first, but not the last. I wish this platform could contribute for everybody in the world to share our tea spirit.
The Chinese musician continues to see Hong Kong as the capital of blending Eastern and Western culture, stressing that as the primary reason behind him setting up his WE festival here.
Any kind of culture from the past to the future without the mutual diverse participation is difficult. So I thought that's why I established this festival. If we could have West meet East through sharing and creative passes, I thought the future could be much more romantic.
This, as the composer said, he will take part in the creation of an all-female percussion ensemble in the city, after taking inspiration from China's ethnic minority Tujia female percussionists.
Explaining his decision to form an all-female percussion ensemble in Hong Kong, world-renowned Chinese composer Tan Dun said he would like the world to see how representative percussion is to China as ballet is to Russia and opera is to Italy. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.